and welcome to Bitches of Horror. And today we have Ludvig Gür here, who directed The Outsider, among other things.
That's right, yes.
So I kind of wanted to start off because I know you're a big H.P. Lovecraft fan. And what draws you to his stories?
Well, I love weird horror, and he's kind of the king of weird horror, obviously. And I think the first story of his that I read was The Shadow over Innsmouth, and I think what kind of got me was that it was just about this one character and his own experiences, and that's kind of what all these stories are about. They're not about this sort of universal event or anything. And The Outsider is sort of the definition of that. So I guess, and obviously the fear of the unknown is a big factor of what draws me to H.P. Lovecraft and what I think is the power in his stories.
Yeah. Speaking of The Outsider, what chose you to pick, just, The Outsider and not his other works of art or, yeah.
Well, me and the cinematographer, Marcus Ljungberg, essentially wanted to do an H.P. Lovecraft adaptation. And so we had a couple stories. And first we were working with Shadow Out of Time, which was way too long for a short. Then we tried, I think, some kind of Shadow over Innsmouth. Didn't work. And then suddenly I just stumbled across The Outsider. I just read the shortest story that was like in the complete collection. And I was blown away. And I think I read it like 5 times, right after one another. And I just loved it. And then I think I wrote a draft within like 20 minutes and I just sent it. And they were like, this is it. This is what we're going to do. And since then we did at least 20 rewrites. So it was quite a long process because there's so much to the story, even though it's just 6 pages long.
Yeah. So what were some of the difficulties that you came across while filming The Outsider?
Well, it's an indie film, so obviously there's not enough time ever. So we only have 3 days to shoot, and we have 3 locations. So, the first location, which is about half the movie, we only had a day with. So I think we were for 17 hours straight. Second location, that was out in the woods. That was the easiest day because I think there were only 2 scenes in the woods actually. And then last day, the house, which is actually chronological order with the film. We just didn't have a lot of time, but luckily it kind of worked out. But that was obviously the major difficulty. The other one was, how to adapt it really, and especially how the lead actor Cole Krause was going to act in the film. Because we were really struggling, how do we kind of portray this guy who's never seen the world outside? And after a while, he sort of decided, okay, I'm just going to try this. I'm going to act like a monkey the entire film. And I'm going to, walk on my all fours, and I'm going to I'm not going to wear shoes outside, so I'm going to stumble weirdly across the woods. And, while we're shooting, we weren't sure if it was going to work. Luckily, the performance has been met with, a lot of positive response, but it was mixed on set because people were actually struggling, laughing at him, on set. And he wasn't sure himself, actually. He was like, I'm not sure about this. And then we screened it, and luckily people didn't necessarily react to that, but a lot of people thought it was amazing in that performance. A lot of people have said that, they have mixed feelings, but overall it seems to, we seem to have made the right choice.
I can imagine, though, being on some sets that everything is a little bit more funny on set than it is actually afterwards.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I know you make a lot of documentaries as well. Do you prefer making documentaries or do you prefer making fiction?
That's a really good question. I like both, but I'd say overall I think fiction is probably my favorite, because it's a much faster process. Documentaries, they take so long to make for many reasons, especially if you do licensed footage. In documentaries it'll be just 2 years to clear everything. I think I'm more drawn to fiction, but documentaries, I think they're equally fun to make, but I guess I prefer fiction overall. But, I'd say 3 years ago I would only want to do fiction films, but now since I've sort of gotten into the world of documentaries more, I'm very much into that as well.
Have you ever thought of making a horror documentary?
Not really, no. I think because documentary is sort of what I do full time, I haven't really had much time to think of passion projects with documentaries. I just do what I'm offered, which happens to be a lot of passion projects, like escape room documentaries, like punk documentaries. So I'm just very happy to be there. So no, I haven't thought of a horror documentary yet. But Well, not a horror documentary, but I have been asked by someone to do a documentary on one of my favorite films, Southland Tales. It's actually kind of a major company, so we'll see if I ever get to do that. That would be amazing.
Sounds cool. So, what kind of future or current projects do you have now? Is it all documentaries, or are you planning another fiction film?
I'm obviously planning. We're shipping The Outsider around. It's got a lot of positive response. We're working with a bunch of different companies there to maybe make a feature not out of this film, but in the Lovecraft universe. Mm-hmm. I'd say probably my next part will be another short in the weird horror genre, because now, I guess the investors that are interested just want to see that, and I don't mind at all, because that's what I want to do. But yeah, no, I haven't had anything set yet, but for now I'll just continue making fiction, and obviously on the documentary side there's just so much all the time that's coming up, so yeah, I'll just continue there as well, essentially.
Are there any other genres that you would like to explore, or is horror the one for you?
I'd say horror is the one, but I am planning to explore more comedy, because that's actually kind of my background, comedy, and I hope to do that one day.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being on our show, and we look forward to seeing your future projects, and let us know when the feature, sort of plans out.
I will. Thank you very much.
Yes, and stay horrific.